Hello, everyone here in Manifesting to Millions. I wanted to come on today, and I had this interesting experience yesterday, and it was really cool. And then I had another experience today in a summit that I was on that just really brought me full circle to the last 24 years of my life. And so I thought that I'd come on and share it here with all of you. And so many of you who are in this community know that I've had 2 near-death experiences. And I just want to share the message that I was given in the light. This message was not only for myself, but it's for all of us. Every single one of us is part of each other. And so I keep telling the message because that's what my inner spirit is telling me to do. And so I was on this summit today, and she was asking me all kinds of questions about my story and how even though this vision was given to me 24 years ago about my purposes, and those seeds have been planted in me for the last 24 years, I've still had to go through life. I've to continue every single day to work on believing and working on watering those seeds and watering those desires and uprooting the weeds from my old conditioned behaviors. Like some of that runs in all of us. Not good enough, not worthy, not enough. Life is too hard. We've got to work hard. We've got to hustle to get our needs met. Hi, love seeing you today. But yeah, and we all have to work every single day on what's going on inside of ourselves. And even though appearances may seem otherwise, meaning it could show up as a bill, it could show up as an argument with your spouse or your children or with someone else, it could show up with a car wreck, it could show up just as stress. And so we are all given choice. And when these experiences are showing up in our now, how do we deal with them? What most of us do, and most of us have the habit of doing, is we respond and we react the same way we always have. Because it's so conditioned in us that we don't realize that we have the power to change that in the moment. And so I wanted to come on and give you a tip today, because I've used these tips, these tools, and these solutions in my life over the last 24 years to come to this time, 2021, when all of these things, these dreams, these visions, these things that were shown to me in the light are happening right now. 24 years later, I had to trust, I had to have faith, I had to keep allowing, I had to keep getting out of the way, I had to keep opening myself up to a greater and a grander vision of what I was deserving of. Sometimes other people, their opinions came in and I'd give them power. And sometimes people would just say, "Oh, that's snake oil." Because you're going to get people in your life that are at a completely different level than yourself, or they're not ready where you're ready at. And I always tell people, pat yourself on the back. Acknowledge to yourself, I'm grateful that I'm ready. And so I wanted to talk about this tip today that I love to share, because I talked about it yesterday on a live that I was on, or actually it was on a Clubhouse, and it really reminded me of how powerful this is. And so let's just take it back for a second. We all know that energy is everywhere present, and that every thought we think, coupled to an emotion, it has power, and we give it life, and it runs through all of our body and through everything that there is. And so it's called the uncurving. And so, just like a baker has all-purpose flour, from that flour, what do? We can make muffins, we can make cakes, we can make bagels, pizza, pasta. We can make all kinds of things. And so we're all bakers. And this life force on this planet is our all-purpose flour. And so I love to tell this story because it's fun. And what better way to really relate to certain things but through storytelling and fun. And so this life force, it flows through everything that there is, through all of nature. And so when we look at nature as it's always giving and it's always in flow with this life force, it's giving and giving and giving. And we call that love. And we all know that love is the highest vibration in the universe. And so if we have this life force, how is it that we can make different things? And so this is because this vital force, when called love, when it hits an obstacle, it curves. And that's how it changes the vibration, what we call a vibration. And when this happens, we take our attention off of the obstacle and turn it to the energy, the feeling. And if it's a sucky feeling, or if it's an experience that shows up that sucks, this is when the curve happens. And so I'm going to describe to you how it actually works. So if you imagine energy right below your belly button, I call that Christ energy, Christ consciousness. And so when we have a desire, something that we really want, what we want to happen is we want that energy that's right below our belly button. That's called the sacral. And I'm sure most of you have heard of your chakras. What we want to happen is that energy to constantly flow all the way up out of our crown chakra. And what happens is the more that this energy is allowed to come all the way up out of our crown chakra, is those chakra balls, they grow in the size of the ball. Now, if you're over here in resistance and you're in attachment to an outcome, or you're being negative, or you're judging somebody else, that makes the ball, that energy, smaller, its circumference of energy. So what we want is if you imagine an arrow, and here's an arrow moving straight up, and the energy is moving straight up, and then all of a sudden, here comes a life experience. And think of that as a green block that stops the arrow of energy from moving upward, freely. And it blocks it. And when that happens, when you have that thought or that negative experience or that not good enough, the energy curves, and that ball of white energy or blue energy, Christ consciousness energy, it curves back down. So how do we stop that in those moments where we want the energy to be moving through all of our chakras, all the way up out of our crown, and opening up our life force and putting out higher and higher energy out into what we call the universe, the quantum field, the God infinite intelligence nature, so that we begin to experience more of life the way we're born to live, the way we actually all deserve. And so the way that I do this is that whether it's a person, place, a thing, or an event, or let's just say it's just a feeling, and you can feel that feeling in your body, locate where it's at and let it come up in front of you. Whether it's a person, if it's a person that's annoying you or aggravating you or you're in conflict with, let them come in front of your face and see them in your mind's eye. And I want you to say to them, thank you for revealing yourself. I know your real name. You are love. Return to your original position. Go upward. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. And then what I want you to do, now what you're doing is you're letting that energy come in front of you. And you're telling the energy, this is your real name. Your real name is love. Now I want you to take your 2 fingers like this. And this is called muscle testing. And I want you to range that feeling after you did that one procedure on a scale from 0 to 10. Where is that feeling still? And I want you to pull your fingers apart. Is that feeling a 9? Is it a feeling of an 8? Is it still a 10? Anywhere between 2 and 10, I want you to keep doing this procedure over and over until you get between 0 and 2. And so it goes like this again. You allow the energy to come up in front of you, whether it's an event, whether it's a person, a situation, a circumstance, whatever it is, let it come in front of you and say to it, thank you for revealing yourself. I know your real name. You are love. Return to your original position. Go upward. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. And you test yourself again. Now, when you're ready, what I want you to, after you start to move down the scale of how strongly that is affecting you, I want you to integrate something else in. So let's say we're between 2 and 5. I want you to let the energy come up again in front of you. Look at the energy. Take a big smile on your face and smile at the energy. Thank you for revealing yourself. I know your real name. You are love. Return to your original position. Go upward. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. I am now ready to integrate you back in. See, that's the thing that we're not told a lot of times is we think we have to push down this energy. And we want to be conscious bakers. You know, there's 2 kinds of bakers. And there's the conscious bakers and there's the unconscious bakers. And we want to be conscious bakers and move our energy in the direction that keeps it more stable, that keeps it stronger, and putting out and recycling that conscious Christ consciousness energy into the field. So we have a vision for what we want to create for our lives. And we want to put that joy and that vision and that vibration and that clarity out into the universe. Because every time we're clear and specific about what we want, but we let that energy come up and be blocked by the green energy, and it keeps curving back down, we keep lowering our vibrational field. We keep lowering the field of what we really want out, what we want to give out into the universe. And this is how we slow down the fruit that we want to be the fruit we want to, come up and be bared into our lives. And here's the other thing. We want to be conscious that everything that we've ever wanted or ever desired is already within us. See, we keep creating from the voids. Thank you so much. We keep creating from the voids. And when we create from the voids, then what happens is we once again keep slowing down our creative process. Everything is already in here. So we need to start coming today more from the place that it is already so. Whatever it is we want It's already in here in substance. It already exists in here. And whatever is in here is what is revealing itself in the outer world. That's how we create these things that we don't really want. Is they're revealing to themselves to us in the outer world based on what we're giving power to in here. So recognize you are the creator of your own life. And if you're the creator of your own life, you can uncreate what is not serving you. Each of us is that powerful. And I taught this class on Saturday. It's called Unlock Your I Am. Every time we say the words, I am, what that means is God in me is. That means you've aligned with the God within you. And when you speak your word, the God within you is speaking. And when you align with that from a place of belief, from a place of declaration, from a place of power, and then you release it, knowing that it is going to show up as effect, knowing it is going to show up as that which you are. Now get this, don't keep uprooting those seeds of what you're creating in here, because they can show up someday, sometime, somewhere. Things I created 24 years ago are manifesting right now because I kept having the courage to try. I kept taking every single day and moving through the moments and the hours of today, developing my awareness, strengthening that muscle within me of reaching for more, of reaching for a higher vibration of joy. Yeah, I'm joyful. What do I want? I want love. You got to be loving inside yourself first. What do I want? I want abundance. You got to see that abundance is already in here. It's everywhere present. It's in the birds and the trees and the flowers. What do I love? I love the ocean. Yes, I love the ocean. And the same thing with I am. Start out by saying, there is only one source, and this source is everywhere present. I am one with this source. This source lives in me, through me, as me. And then begin to speak your word. What you're speaking is creating your outcomes. What you're judging is creating your outcomes. So begin to declare. It froze up for a second there. So begin to declare that my life is whole, perfect, and complete. That the river of life flows everywhere into my experience with abundance and prosperity and good and greater good and fun and play and joy and experiences that allow me to demonstrate this and share this with others. And experience your gratitude. Thank this higher part of yourself for the gift of life. And release your word to the action of the law, because the law is infinite. The universe is infinite. God infinite. There's a million avenues, channels, and opportunities for your desire to be delivered. Continue to feel today from the space that it's already so, that it's already true, and allow it to happen. Let go of the outcome, because whatever's showing up as experience is revealing to you where you're putting resistance in the field. It doesn't support your conclusion. You're attached to the outcome. So it's time to get more aligned and clear from the place that it's already so. How would that feel? How would that look? And be from that feeling and be from that vision in here through the seconds, through the moments, through the hours of today, because that's all there is. The past is only a memory that you keep going back to and pulling those old wounds into the moment. Or you go to the future, which is not yet happened, through your imagination. The now is where you have the strongest power. The now is what is called your point of attraction. So everybody knows about attraction. They know about the law of attraction, but they don't really understand that the law of vibration is always in existence. And so whatever you're putting out in the seconds and the moments and the hours of today, based on your attachment to it, you're either creating more of what you want or more of what you don't want. So I hope that this tip I shared with you today, it's called the Uncurving. And like I said, I just want to make sure that everybody's clear. You keep doing that step over and over until the energy is between a 0 and a 2, and then integrate it back in. Allow it to be integrated back in, and that energy will expand, because what's happening is you're looking at the energy and reminding it that it is love and it has no power over you. All right. I hope that helps everyone. And I hope it's a great tip for everyone, because I've been using it and it is powerful. I've been using it for a long time now and it is super duper powerful. So have a great day, everyone. Love you in here. Bye-bye.